Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 𝗲𝗂 and specifically the price action of the one coin. As we get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, make sure you do subscribe, tap the bell and select all notifications. In doing so, apparently YouTube will send you a notification and you will not miss another 𝗲𝗂 update. Right, with all this said, done and out of the way, let's get into it. Okay guys, so we're going to start things off with taking a look at 𝗲𝗂 on this weekly chart. We are using Binance as the data source and this is of course paired with USDT. Okay, so the reason that we want to start on this weekly chart is to kind of give us a good overview as to where things are going. Sometimes it gets a little bit too easy to kind of be focused in on what is going on with those hourly charts or the daily charts. This way, on the weekly, you can see good progress with where we are going in the longer term. So obviously, as we are kind of completing the third quarter, go into quarter four, we are obviously in the bull run and we are expecting 𝗲𝗂 to reach up to those higher levels around that 77-cent area. We're theoretically pushing up towards that dollar level. That's where we anticipate the bull run to finish here for 𝗲𝗂 before we go into the bear market and back into accumulation. So on this weekly chart, we can obviously talk about how it has taken 1 year from March of 2020 through to March of 2021 to see 18,943% in gains, which is significant. There's no bank that I'm aware of that will give you that kind of return on investment, and that's exactly what you've got from 𝗲𝗂. Now, obviously, when we talk about this fourth wave correction that many people were calling a bear market, this bear phase or correction wave, as I like to refer to them, has been quite steep in the case of 𝗲𝗂, bringing it all the way down to these lower levels of about 4.7 cent. Right now we are up there now at 11 cent, and that's actually quite a key level. This is an area that we actually have been rejected from previously. So right now we're actually at a really critical point for 𝗲𝗂 that we want to be paying attention to some of the key technical resistance levels to make sure that we can push through and close in the correct places. So we'll get into that in a moment. But on this weekly chart, obviously really highlighting that this yellow box area is where we are right now. Okay, and this is the first area of concern for us right here. Okay, once we get this out of the way, this is the next major one. And then once we're past there, we go up to all-time high territory. So things are progressing nicely. We've had a good correction and good recovery from the fourth wave here. So we are now going into the fifth wave, but we can't confirm the fifth wave is definitely on the cards until we pass this first yellow box. Okay, and that's where we are right now. That's where the resistance is, and we're going to get into that in a moment. So obviously, as we talk about that fifth wave being up at 77 cent to $1, that is where we're anticipating 𝗲𝗂 going. Now, when it comes to the stochastic relative strength index, we have moved it well out of the oversold area now. Good progress has been made in the last sort of 3 to 4 weeks, and basically we are now actually tracking about 60. So as we approach the overbought area on this weekly chart, this is obviously going to be where we start to see basically significant kind of time hanging out in the overbought area. And this is when the extreme greed kicks in, or the extreme greed and extreme kind of greed where profits will eventually be taken, right? So we want to watch out for that. Up here at the top is where that is anticipated to come in. Now, nothing moves in straight lines, so what we tend to find is on the way up, we'll have little blips like this, okay? Correction waves inside the bullish wave to the upside. So little corrections are expected to happen, right? So nothing moves in straight lines, just prepare ourselves for pullbacks. We haven't seen any on the weekly chart just yet. We've seen a few on the daily, and they're actually working really well for us, but eventually we will see them on the weekly chart as well. Okay. So that's everything on the weekly chart, right? Obviously, just make sure that we're aware that if we're ever in doubt of where 𝗲𝗂 is going, that we do zoom all the way out and we take a good look at where things are projected to go, right? Up towards 77 cent and $1. Those are the expectations as we finish this off. Now, in terms of what we're talking about here, we're probably in that range. If I just grab this and throw it up, looking at about another 600% in gains from the current position, okay? Probably the worst end of the scenario, so that's at 77 cent, okay? So again, pretty good. Now let's drop this down into our daily view, right? And this is where things really get interesting, because obviously we have the correction wave coming down here. And what I will do is I'll just grab the Fibonacci retracement tool and just extend it across this way a little bit so we can see exactly what's going on, right? So we can see that obviously we pulled back down. Now, this yellow box area that we're talking about right now, this is the area that we actually tested previously and was rejected from. We were rejected from this 382 area here, and we were basically wicking in, and then we kind of got this rejection and we pushed all the way down. We are now coming back up to this testing ground, right? The exception and the differences here is that basically when we were testing up here, we were in the overbought area. Now we're retesting this area. We're actually all the way down the other end of the spectrum on that stochastic relative strength index. So as we find this resistance and we're nice and low here, we just need some good sentiment and some good volume to come in to really take advantage of that and push us on up. Once we get above this area here and close above this particular yellow box, which would be basically anything above 12.6 cent, so up here a closed candle. Now preferably we want that to be a weekly close. A weekly close is the biggest, strongest technical close position for us, with the exception of the monthly and the yearly from there. But basically a weekly close here is going to be a very bullish signal to really send Harmony 1 to the next level. And then obviously once we're past this area here, we are talking about the main area. Okay, so that's this one here. This comes in at the 618, the 702, the 786, or 15.6, 17.1, and 18.6 cent retrospectively, right? So obviously when we're talking about really going up to all-time high and setting new all-time highs in the same way that Cardano has, this is the signal that we're looking for. We're looking to close above 18.6 cent. And again, weekly close is going to be the real strong signal for us to take us up to the all-time high area. And obviously once we're past all of that, that's when we start talking about price discovery, where the next targets are. We do have 33.3 cent, 51 cent there, 68 cent, and then actually it's not 77, it's actually 79.7, so it's actually 80 cent pretty much. So really good close numbers, right? So those are the price expectations, and we should be addressing these as we get past this area here. So we've still got quite a bit of work, guys, before we can even get to that point, but progress has been pretty good so far as we've started to go up to this first yellow box area here. Getting and pushing through this seems to be very likely at the moment, so we'll just check the hourly in a moment to see if the shorter term views are bullish or bearish, right? I think ultimately we're probably looking for a small correction on the hourly, but on the daily here, we're definitely gearing up for a move to push us up higher, right? I mean, again, we're looking for that 12.6 cent closed candle. I don't think it's going to necessarily come this weekend. I would like it to. I'm not 100% confident we're going to see that. But if we do see the closed candle this weekend, that would be great for next weekend or for next week, right? So really good stuff going on there. So just be aware, guys, there's still a lot of work to happen here. Lots of areas of kind of resistance and support to be found before we can start talking about price discovery. But again, the expectations for the remaining of the bull run is very, very good in the case of Harmony. So yeah, do not get too distracted by what's going on with the hourly or the daily. But on that note, let's actually jump down into our hourly view, and here we'll just expand this up. So here we can see the most recent price action, right? This is the area that we were testing previously, and we can see we came up here and really fighting against that resistance level of 11.4 cent, getting rejected from here, trying to find support around here, getting rejected, finding the resistance, break back to the upside. And again, we're finding the resistance yet again up at the same area, right? It's 11.4 cent. Finding support briefly here on 10.8, and we're currently tracking here. Now, we are overbought, so we are looking for a short-term pullback on our stochastic relative strength index. Now, when we actually throw the volume in, what we're looking for is a decrease in volume over time, so we can basically protect the price and then obviously bring that volume back in as we are from the oversold area, move back to the upside, right? So everything that we're looking for in the case of Harmony here is to find good, strong support lines. So we obviously have one here at 10.8 cent, and we're wicking down a little bit lower, right down to the 618 area, okay? So we're wicking down a little bit lower here, and that actually comes in at 10.5, right? So 10.8 is the support line that we've seen previously. Loads of areas of resistance and support being found there, but we are also pulling down a little bit lower, just down to those 10.5 cent areas. So again, everything's consolidating nicely here for sideways trading. That should hopefully see that momentum drop out of that stochastic, and hopefully will then allow us to really take over that 11.4 cent and try to get a closed candle up here, right, towards the 12.6, 12.5 cent area. So everything on the hourly is basically indicating that we should be looking for some sideways trades, potentially pulling back down towards these lower areas of 10.5. before really trying to gear up again in line with the daily chart to take out the 11.4, the 11.9, and of course getting the closed candle above 12.6. Okay, so these are the key areas that we're really watching out for with Harmony. Again, lots of work still to happen in the background here, but what we're looking for really is good volume coming up, volume dropping out as we have our correction, volume coming back up again, dropping out during the correction and building up again. If we can repeat that process, we should see that closed candle shortly, okay, in that really strong position. So although there's lots going on these kind of hourly, 15 minutes, smaller time frame charts, it's important that we obviously pay attention to what's going on with the large time frames, right? We are looking to basically continue the motion to the upside on the daily chart. That's a really nice correction that we've been calling out and waiting for. So we were waiting for this correction to happen. We've seen the correction now, and now we are looking to continue the push back to the upside. That's fantastic. And obviously on the weekly here, we're looking for a weekly correction at some point. It doesn't seem to be coming anytime soon. So I imagine we're going to have another push on the daily chart, really pushing the daily up a little bit higher, and then coming back down, probably back testing on this yellow box area here as we approach this one. That'll probably be where we start to see this weekly kind of correction. So as we push up into here, back test this area, and then push on up here. Okay, because we are talking about Q3, Q4, right? And potentially even Q1 of 2022. This isn't going to be something that's going to be quick money. This is definitely something you're going to see over the next few weeks to months play out, okay? So the weekly charts are a really good indication of slow moving trends. And there's obviously the one that you want to be leaning on under these kind of scenarios. So yeah, lots to kind of go on and to look forward to in the case of Harmony. Lots of progress has been made so far, and I think that's going to continue. I think there's going to be a short-term pullback, medium-term push up, and then on the bigger time frames, such as the weekly, we're looking for a pullback in the next few weeks to kind of get that corrected, ready to take the next step to all-time high levels. So guys, hopefully you have found this brief update on Harmony One useful and informative. If you have, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you're new, subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and you will not miss another Harmony One update. Guys, with this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.